Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is Brayden here. Brayden is from the States, and I met Brayden in Medellin last year. Brayden runs a marketing agency, digital marketing agency in the solar niche. And yeah, so before we get into the now that you're traveling and working remotely, running your business from overseas, right now you're in Buenos Aires, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I just want to take it back though to like how it all started. When did you decide to become an entrepreneur? How did this happen? Was this something that you always wanted to do, or you just kind of stumbled upon it?
Got it. Well, thanks for the intro, man. Good to be on the show. Thanks for having me. If we take it back that far, I will say that I never in a million years thought I would be an entrepreneur. I
Hmm.
never even knew what you could have your own business. It just wasn't even a reality to me. I grew up in small town Nebraska, right? It's like
Nebraska.
entrepreneurship is probably not super popular there. It's like grow up and be a farmer. That's like the dream, like basically. So the fact that I'm even here, man, it's like weird. But yeah, so when I first discovered about entrepreneurship is, so I moved to Vegas, right? I had like a corporate job in information technology.
Okay.
I went to college, got a degree, got this job, decided to quit the job and move to Vegas
Mm.
because I just wanted to move to Vegas. It's always a dream of mine to move to Vegas. So
Right.
I did. And while I was there, I was actually out at the club one night, and this this dude comes up to me and like I don't know, we're just like talking to the same girls, and he was like somehow we like exchanged contact information. He's like, yeah, man, we should go out sometime together, like
Right.
to go to clubs and stuff.
But you were
And I was
talking to the
like,
same girls or the same girl?
the same girls. No, it's
Okay.
actually the same girl. It's the same girl. It's the same girl. He was
That's
like
funny,
trying to
man.
steal my girl. He was trying to steal my girl
You
from
guys
me.
bonded off of that.
Yeah, yeah. And I eventually just like let him have her.
Right,
But
right.
basically, this dude became my business mentor, and
Cool.
he was kind of the marketing genius behind a very large YouTube channel. Like
Mhm.
500 plus thousand subs,
Cool.
and it kind of like opened me up to the possibility of like making money online.
Right.
And it was perfect timing because I had like just quit my job. I didn't really know what I was going to do. I was a club promoter
Hmm.
for like a Vegas nightclub. So I
Okay.
literally only got paid commission. I had to like walk 20,000 steps a night to just like talk to everybody. And so like he showed me this world that you could like make a lot of money online, you
Right.
know? And he became my mentor and he kind of steered me in the right direction. He's like, yeah, man, you should go into digital marketing. I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but I guess
Hmm.
let's learn, and I bought my first course. It was like $1,000.
Hmm.
Uh, Bought my first course, went through that, just like had no results for like the longest time, just because the belief wasn't there.
Okay. And at
It's
this
like,
point, were you like, you mean by like you're cold calling, trying to like start it, or what do you mean?
yeah, I was just trying to get clients.
Okay.
Like I wanted to like learn how to like manage people's social media. That was the idea. It is a social media agency basically.
Okay.
So a little bit different than what I do now. We
Like the
do
Ty,
paid traffic
like the
for.
Ty Lopez, like
It
SMMA.
was the Ty Lopez course. Okay, I didn't want to give him a plug on the show because it wasn't a very good course,
Yeah,
but
but it was a
it got
start.
me.
It was a starting point.
It got me here, so I guess I can't hate too much, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, so um, yeah, I got started on the course. I went through the course really fast, and I started like prospecting for dentists. And I was going to
Hmm.
like manage their social media,
Right.
and I was in Vegas, and I felt very alone for a lot of the times,
Gotcha.
right? Because I didn't really have any other friends who were entrepreneurs. Like I kind of just felt like this one man island trying to like grow this business, and I just had no clue what I was doing.
Right.
And it was very much like a state of fear.
Hmm.
I lived in this constant state of like fearing of failure.
Right.
I had no experience really with sales. I had no experience like putting myself out there, going to business events, anything like that,
Hmm.
because I just hadn't had that experience in my childhood and growing up and stuff. So I wasn't accustomed to that at all.
Yeah.
And I started prospecting dentists, and I would send emails, right? And
Hmm.
I sent like 100 emails one day. I was like, all right, let's sit back and wait for the responses. And there was no responses. There
Oh
was
man.
absolutely no responses. So
Hmm.
that didn't work. And then I would like print out these social media audits,
Right.
and I would laminate the pages. It would be like 30 pages. I would laminate them, put them in like the little paper protectors,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would put it in like a binder, like one of those like binders that we used to have for school,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what
one
you're
of
talking
those,
about.
and I would like print their logo and I'd put it on it. And I drove around Las Vegas, like delivering these little dentist
Like
offices.
you were actually going out there.
I was going
Like,
out there. I would wear a fucking suit in like the 110-degree weather.
oh, wow, man.
Yeah, it was rough, man. And I delivered 30 of these one day. It was like a whole like 8 hours of driving, basically, just like back and forth, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the next like week, I was just like, all right, the calls should be coming in.
Right.
People should just be like writing me checks,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was charging like $1,000 a month, but I didn't even really even pitch anybody
Okay.
because I couldn't even get really a meeting. Like I had one meeting. I pitched the guy at $1,000. I was super nervous, like never got a call back.
Right.
But yeah, so that's kind of like how it started.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And how'd you deal with the loneliness and that kind of like I'm afraid of failing, and whatnot. And
yeah, like very slowly.
really,
So it took me, let's see, I started, it was like, I started the business in March 2017,
okay.
right? And, that's when I got like my business license because you have to have that before you do business, right? And that's when I built a website and business cards and all these things you don't actually need.
Right.
Um,
You just needed to start.
because I mean, like the mindset was like, you feel productive when you work for things that like you think you should do, but it's just a way to avoid the things that you need to do.
Right.
Like I knew I just needed to pick up the phone and just call people or just like put on the big boy pants, just go in there and like be persistent,
Mm-hmm.
But all these other things that I did in place of that was just a way to like not have to do the one thing. And I think most people do that in their whole lives. Everyone knows what they really should do, but so many people fail to do, and their brain like puts other things more important than that just because they're scared to do the one thing, And so I was very much living in like a state of just doing, but nothing productive.
Gotcha. And was there like a moment in particular, or was it just like a gradually just you winning at small things that made you confident?
It was gradual, man. It was super gradual, super slow progress. Like, I think I made like maybe $500 in the first like 5 months or something.
Okay.
Well, it's like it was a side hustle. I had my promoting job where I would maybe make like $2,000-$3,000 a month, working like 20 hours a week or something.
Right.
And this was like a side hustle, but I made like $500-$600 in like 5 months, which is not at all how I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be at 10K a month, like nothing. Like I was just like, oh yeah, 2 months I'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It's like so far from it, so naive, And
when was like the first, like I guess the real first client when you're like, oh shit, like I'm doing it, like this is crazy.
Yeah, man. Everything started blowing up. I think it was like October of that same year. So from March until October, like very little happened. I had like a trial client and like somebody paid me to like make them a website and stuff like that, like little jobs, $500 worth. But then like the first week of October, I closed like 3 clients in a week.
Yeah.
And I think I made like $2,250 between 3 different clients. I think they were all 317 or $750 all day long.
Do you remember that day in particular? Do you remember seeing the first check or whatever that deposit?
Yeah, man. I remember seeing one of them was like PayPal. 2 of them were PayPal, and one was like a credit card through Stripe, I think. I remember seeing that come through. Like I felt incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, yo, I just replaced my income. You know?
And what did you do different that week?
It was a different prospecting method. So like everything else I kept failing at. I was like, I would test and then realize it didn't work. Test, realize it didn't work. And, to be fair, I didn't test enough, right? The volume I was doing wasn't really enough for like a proper test, but I was expecting like results with 100 emails, for example, whereas you probably need to send 1,000 or something like that, to get a call or whatever. And so this prospecting method, I started looking for people on Upwork.com who were already searching for like Facebook ad service, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like I would look for postings on there that had their email address in the bio. And
Right.
so then I would shoot them an email directly because I didn't want like Upwork to take the money and like I didn't have a good Upwork
Yeah.
profile. So I'd reach out to them directly via email and then get on a sales call and then like
Mm,
close them over like a Zoom call like this,
yeah.
phone call. And so that was the difference. I got 3 of those from Upwork in 1 week.
It's awesome. And at that point, when you got the money, were you just ready to go, or were you just like, oh, like, or was there like a moment where you were like, oh wait, can I do it, or were you just confident at that point? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna find a way to figure this out. You know, they just
Are you
paid
talking about
me.
like delivering for the clients?
Yeah. So like you got the sales done, and then the fulfillment part. Did you feel confident in that at that point?
I mean, I was new at it, but I was motivated to figure it out for them at all costs.
Right.
Like I sold them on things that I maybe necessarily wasn't an expert. I wasn't an expert at all,
Right.
but to be honest, we can become pretty good at something pretty quickly as long as we're willing to put in work,
Mm-hmm.
And so I sold this one guy like Google Ads, like Google AdWords it was at the time. So I would like set up search campaigns for him,
Right.
which, I did that. I got him traffic. He later refunded
Okay.
the whole amount because his store, he sold like really expensive jewelry that he would like hand make. It was very like niche. It was like dark jewelry.
Okay.
Right.
Like
so I bid it on these keywords for him and he like got real traffic and he complained and said like, oh, I was sending fake traffic. I wasn't actually running the ads. Like, and he like talked to the credit card company and like got his money back and
what?
got his money back. And so that one ended up like nothing, right?
Yeah.
So that was my first client. Woohoo, big win.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, are you like just doing like general ads, like Facebook ads for just, or was it still wasn't niche, right?
It wasn't niche. It wasn't niche. I was just like, I'll do Facebook ads. The other guy was like, he's from Canada and he was running like ads to like a webinar registration. Mm-hmm. And he already had a pretty good funnel built up. He was trying to sell like a coaching program on the back end.
Okay.
And so I was managing his like front end ads to the webinar registration. That went well. I did great. I think we only worked together like 2 or 3 months because he wasn't closing anything on the back end.
Okay.
Which really is his own fault for not being able to sell to people on the webinar. He just had a bad webinar,
Mm-hmm.
So that client eventually went away. And then the other one was like this little e-commerce store selling like some like health food product called like tiger nuts.
Okay.
It's like a tuber. It's an actual vegetable, I guess. It's a nut.
Okay.
It's a tuber. It's like a potato, except it's really small and I don't exactly understand. I never even tried one. I was doing like social media contests for this company and stuff, and it went okay. But
nice, man. So I'm assuming you tried different, different business, models and whatnot, different kind of clients, niches, and how did you end up doing solar? How'd you end up doing that, niching down on that and becoming like an authority in that?
Yeah, so I got into the solar realm. It was actually before those 3 clients because
really?
I posted in, but I didn't stick with it. I posted in like a Las Vegas, like business owners group. I was like, hey, does anybody need like Facebook ads done? I'm learning and I'm new, but if you have some ad spend, like I'll do the work for free.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you like a free trial where I'll
right. Yeah, man. And I love that. I love that, man. I love when people are willing to do things for free just to get the experience. I feel like a lot of people are just like, no, I want to get paid. You just like right off the bat, like, dude, you have no experience. But 100%. I like that.
And it's almost impossible. I was telling some guy on a sales call before this. I'm like, look, man, if I couldn't produce the results of what I'm telling you I can, I wouldn't be this confident in my ability to sell you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't sell well when you're not confident about what you're offering.
Right.
Unless you're like a sociopath or something, right? Like you're not supposed to be able to, it's supposed to go against your morals.
Yeah. It's supposed to.
Supposed to. I think some people can trick it. I don't know. I never was able to though.
Yeah.
But so I helped this solar guy for free and we ran like some solar leads. I spent like I only spent like $400 on ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I got him like 30 leads, which is actually pretty good back in the day. And he even got a sale from it. Like he was a rep, like he was a sales rep who was supposed to provide his own leads. So he didn't have like a big budget and he didn't get paid very much. on a sale. I think his commission was like $2,000-$3,000 though,
Okay.
off of, $300 in spend, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I do a great job for him, but then he disappears on me.
He just
Just disappears. He just disappears. I ran his leads. And I'm like, all right, man, are you going to be a paying client now? And like, I was expecting to like bring him on as like an actual client because it went well. And he just basically disappeared. He even left me with $193 of the ad spend that I had to pay out of my own pocket.
Really?
Because his card defaulted on my ad account.
Okay.
And so Facebook wouldn't like let me run any more ads until the bill was paid.
Right.
And so I had to pay the bill for him. So I actually paid this guy to run ads for him and get him a sale. So I had really good luck at the beginning of all those, man.
Yeah.
Really good luck.
I see that, man. But I guess the good thing is that you got a case study of that one.
Yeah. I put together a case study out of that one,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was key. And but it really ruined my confidence with my ability to like do solar, just because of the way that like he made me feel when he left, and like I kind of forgot about solar for almost a year after that.
And how'd you bounce back into it?
Well, I was at a conference in Austin, Texas. A guy named John Loger. I met some amazing people at this conference.
Mm-hmm.
If you're building like a consulting agency or something, definitely look into John Loger's stuff.
Okay.
Australian dude, he's awesome. But I was at his conference, and he was like, he made us choose a niche. He's like, all right, what's your niche? What's your niche? You talk to everybody in the room. And he wrote an email for you on the spot.
On the spot.
Right? A cold email that you were supposed to send out. And you had to send at least 30 per day during this conference.
Okay.
A cold email that he wrote us, which was like, it was crazy. Everyone was in the room, was sending out emails. And like people would leave the room to go take sales calls and stuff in the middle of the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And so he asked me what my niche was. I'm like, solar. It just like came up, I didn't actually think about it. And he's like, oh, that's a great niche is what he told me. And then he wrote me an email, and I sent it to like 30 people that I scraped from like LinkedIn, right? Mm-hmm. I scraped 30 emails real quick, just blasted it out to 30 people. And one guy was interested in a sales call.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, this works.
Yeah.
This is nuts. And so I didn't close the guy, but I saw like the potential of what I was. And he also told me like, if you get a solar client, you have to at least charge $3,000 per month.
Okay.
And to me at the time, I'm like, whoa, that's triple what I'm asking for right now. I think I was charging like $1,500.
Okay.
I had like one or two other clients in random niches, and I was charging $1,500 per month. Mm-hmm. So he tells me I can charge double to solar clients. I'm like, all right, we'll give this a go.
You're like, I like that. Yeah, I like those numbers.
I already know how to do a funnel for solar. So I started prospecting for solar, and that's really how I.
Is that when you say like everything changed once you decided to niche down?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you start learning. I mean, I have other realizations that changed everything even more so than just picking a niche.
Okay, like what?
Without going like too broad, but without going too specific, but like when I stopped selling marketing services and started selling results. So like there's certain industries where people buy leads. Mm-hmm. Like they don't want marketing services. They just want contact information of potential customers who raise their hand from your ads. And I was trying to sell marketing services to an industry that just wanted to buy leads. And I was fighting it. Every sales call I was like, well, how do we know this works? Mm-hmm. We buy leads, but like, how do we know that like paying you, $3,000, $5,000 per month to run our ads for us, plus ad spend, how do we know we're going to get leads from this? Mm-hmm. And I always had this objection. But then one day my mind flipped. I'm like, why don't I just sell leads? Why don't I just start selling what they're already buying?
Right.
Just do it better. And so it's just like, just go with the grain of the sand. Don't try to like go against the grain.
Okay.
Don't try to sell something to a market that's not already buying that thing pretty much.
Makes sense.
Sell people more of what they're already buying. It's all about the offer. It's all about the offer. Sales calls become so easy when you're offering something that they're already looking for, that they already want to buy. Mm-hmm. How
how valuable do you think, or how necessary is like education throughout this process, like going to conferences? You would just say it's high up there, reading books, it's personal development or slash, being around the right people.
Yeah, it's everything, man. At the end of the day, we're really just products of our environment. And
Hmm.
so, without going to that conference in Austin, Texas, I wouldn't have met like real life humans trying to build a marketing agency. Like
Hmm.
everything, I was just online and I felt alone, just like I did in Vegas,
Yeah.
really like my first marketing conference, really. And I met all these like-minded people. We became friends. Like we talked about like things that we were doing, struggles that we had. And so like that environment and being around like-minded people, super important to your success,
Hmm.
because what it does is it gives you the belief that you can do it. If you don't have that belief, you're going to be, the best way I can describe it is you're going to be hitting the gas while your other foot's on the brake.
Yeah.
Like you'll be lucky if you kind of just like chug along.
Hmm.
You're not going to go anywhere very fast though. But once you have that belief, your foot takes off the brake and then you're just on the gas.
Yeah, I love that.
And yeah, it's hard to build, but you got to get around people who are already doing it. You have to realize that the people who are really quote unquote successful are just normal people. They were just like you like 2 years ago.
Hmm.
They're just a normal dude. You just have a normal conversation with, at the time of this guy I met. His name is Nick. He had like a $3 million a year agency or something. And like before the conference, I'm like, man, this guy is so successful. And then I got to the conference, I'm like, this is just a down to earth human, you know?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
he's chill, he's willing to talk to you, and like
You
you
felt
stop
like
kind of like
you're like, I can do it too, kind of thing. You felt that.
100%. I felt this so much after this conference, and I stopped putting like successful people on like a pedestal.
Hmm.
I stopped thinking that like I'll be happy one day when, and I started realizing that like we're all just people.
Yeah.
Nothing really changes. Like,
It's just literally, it's like, I mean, I think it's just like I mean, there's just obviously more things, but it's like, I feel like just like action, belief, and just surrounding yourself with the right people is like one of the best combinations, you know?
yeah, that
Um,
is those three things are really important. I mean, reading books and education, like those are kind of like having mentors, but in book form. It's
right.
less real than humans, you know?
Hmm.
It's less real because it's like words on a page. A video is less real than real people because it's a video. It's like you want the realest form of like like your environment, so other people ideally.
Yeah.
But second best is like YouTube, follow people on YouTube, read books. It's like
Hmm.
second best.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. So how now with that said, tell us about how you got to Buenos Aires, and I guess are you just living there now, or how's that set up out there?
Yeah, I'm just living here. Just kind of making like the South American tour, I guess.
Yeah, oh, and actually before that, what made you decide to leave the States? You're running the agency, I'm sure you're growing it. When did that, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna just buy a flight, gonna head to South America and see what happens. Like, was it just out of a whim or like you knew that there's people out there
It was a
like,
person I met. One of my
nothing?
buddies back in Vegas,
Gotcha.
actually. So yeah, to give you a little context, I was living in my parents' basement in Nebraska.
Okay.
Right? I was 25. I was 25.
Hmm.
26. I was 26, yeah. And I was living in my basement of my parents' house. And every day I would like try to work on the marketing agency. I had one client was making like $3,500 per month from this one client, and it was going okay. Like they're just on like a month-to-month contract, so I didn't have any guaranteed income.
Hmm.
I had credit card debt because I bought a bunch of courses and I bought like $4,000 worth of coaching, and like I really tried to like invest in myself because I believed in my potential to be better,
Right.
you know? And so I spent a lot of money, some of it money I didn't have, credit cards,
Would
just
you say
because I
would you
believed
say that was necessary?
the coaching and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff,
Hmm.
or the spending the money that you don't have.
I guess both.
I think I could have managed my money a little bit better.
Okay.
I'm sure I spent it on things that like really didn't help me.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, the coaching, I would say, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's
Hmm.
necessary. I think it feels good for people to spend money on bettering themselves a lot of times, more so than the benefits that they actually get from the actual program.
Right.
But it does give you more belief, and It does help.
Okay.
But you just got to weigh the pros and cons. I'm not saying go drop $10,000 on like a
The next
coaching
course.
program. Right? Like find courses. If it's just digital, I would say probably stay away from it for the most part. There's some good ones, but you can learn your skill set by trial and error and the free content out there. If you don't have a lot of money, do that. But definitely like in-person coaching or like live coaching, I think it's a lot more valuable.
Gotcha. So this guy you met, he told you, hey man, you got to go to South America?
Yeah. So I was in the parents' basement.
Oh yeah, forgot.
Can't forget about that. It makes the story so much better. You know?
Yeah, in the basement, making
$1,000,
$1,000.
making $3,500 a month.
Okay.
I was terrified to do sales calls. I thought the key to my success was outsourcing sales, which I would highly, highly recommend you don't do. I would recommend that you learn the sales yourself. But I was trying to outsource sales. And so my buddy from Vegas took a sales training course. And I was like, hey man, do you want to partner on this? And like you do the sales calls, I'll do the prospecting, and I'll do and we'll hire this other company to do the ads. Like we tried to do a deal like that. And so this guy had just moved to Medellin, Colombia. And I think it was like November 2018. Yeah, November 2018. He moved to Medellin, Colombia, and he's like, yeah, man, you got to come out here. It's really sick. I made a lot of friends down here. There's like a lot of entrepreneurs. It's like a good environment. So I was like, yeah, maybe, man, maybe. I didn't really think too much about it.
You're like, what's this Medellin, man?
Yeah, I looked it up, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe Marcus is there. I mean, it would be fun. It would make a good story nonetheless. So I bought a round trip ticket to Medellin, Colombia. I think it was like $900 or something, which was quite a bit of money for me at the time. You know, I was just like still trying to pay off credit card debt and stuff.
Still booking flights.
I just started booking flights because I knew that your environment is everything.
Okay, so you knew that much.
It wasn't a vacation for me. It was like get out of the basement.
Got it.
Get out of the basement, get a new work environment, be around new people, be inspired by your environment, get out of the old habits and ways of thinking that you have, you know, when you feel like you're stuck in a basement, just like trying to like grind, you know, be inspired when you're trying to do this kind of thing. And I guess I knew that. I don't think I did, but that's how it ended up being. And so I booked that flight. I told my parents like, hey, can you watch my cat for 2 months? A cat. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be back. I think it was March 1st. I was supposed to go back.
Okay. So you booked it for quite some time.
Yeah, I was committing to 2 months in Medellin.
Okay.
Right. And so I get there and like, you know, the first like 2-3 weeks, nothing really happens that much. And then this is interesting. I don't know if this is relevant to your audience, but I did like a meditation retreat.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a meditation retreat.
Was that helpful?
It was very helpful. Yeah. And we actually did a spiritual journey on this trip.
Okay.
Right? Trip.
What did you discover about yourself?
I realized that like don't run away from the fear was kind of the thing that I kind of took away from this.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, just kind of helped me like face the fear. Like whenever you feel fear, like kind of like run toward it. And it gave me, I felt like more ability to do that. But then like once we got back to Medellin, this was out in the country, like 2 hours away from Medellin.
Okay.
But once we got back there, like everything changed. Like we started closing sales like within days.
Really?
Like within like 2 or 3 days of getting back, I closed a client for $5,000 a month.
Dude, I think I remember that. I remember I was there. Yeah, at WeWork, and you were like, so celebrating. You're like, dude, I just closed a $5,000 client. I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, we just kept doing that. And then like, it was 1 week later, we closed the fastest growing solar company in the United States on another $5,000 per month retainer. And then like 2 weeks after that, another 5,000. And like, I think it was about a month later after that, the second largest solar company in the United States, or third. We closed them on a $5,000 a month, and then everything stopped.
Oh, wow.
And then everything stopped. Everything started going downhill after that. We couldn't keep that run rate, but it was insane.
Dude, it sounds like you just need to go back to that retreat.
Yeah,
you got to send me their contact info, man. Maybe big things start happening.
There you go, man. I
Dude, man,
mean,
you made like
I
20
don't
grand
know.
in like a few weeks.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's
because I lost that one client that I had. Like
mhm.
right when I got to Medellin, I lost them.
Gotcha.
My white label partner overspent on their credit card by like double on ads, and I wasn't watching it. So
Bruh.
yeah, I
Facebook,
got
Facebook,
fired.
Facebook would take your money, man.
Facebook took all their money. So I got fired from that account. So I had no income going to this meditation spiritual journey, you know?
Yeah.
And but then like everything changed after that.
Sounds like it was worth it, man. Really
It's
worth
definitely
it.
worth it.
And so then like after that, you just fell in love. I'm assuming with like being abroad, you just kind of just traveling all over. And then where did you go? And then you just kind of kept growing the business. It's what you've been doing lately.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I fell in love with being abroad. I loved the freedom that you feel like you have. Cost of living is a nice bonus.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just like I wanted to be where I was treated the best, you know, and I felt like
Right.
people were nice to me in Medellin and in foreign, and I wasn't in my parents' basement anymore, so I get a lot of things
You're,
are better than that, right?
you're like this is a lot better than
Yeah, yeah. And so
Nebraska basement.
after I closed all these sales, I called my mom and I was like, "Yo, mom, I'm not coming home."
You can keep the cat.
I was like, "Would you mind watching my cat for an undetermined amount of time?"
She must have thought you're crazy. What did she think? Or would you?
She was crying. She's crying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean, I felt bad, but like I was like, "Yo, I'm killing it in business right now. Like this move has been really good for me. I'm gonna stay here."
Yeah.
And I
Ever
told her
since you
like,
just been abroad.
I visited. I went back for Christmas. I went back in July of
Cool.
2019. So it's like I visit a couple
Hmm.
times a year at least. But yeah.
It's awesome, man. And so for people that are watching this, kind of want to get started on this. Like, what would you say is like the number one thing that they need to do if they want to become a successful entrepreneur, whether it's an agency or whether it's another business? What would you say that from what you've learned is like the first thing you would recommend to someone, or better yet, what would you tell the younger Braden, from a few years ago, that was just starting out? What kind of advice would you give him?
It's a good question. I mean, I could go super technical, but I really don't believe that the answer is in the technical. I
Mm,
really don't believe that. Um, I would say like mindset is everything, and you really can't skip ahead. You'll get it when you're ready for it. Everything that happens is like I believe is pretty laid out,
okay.
and you keep going through the same things until you break through. And yeah, there's no skipping ahead. I would say that like meditation and getting in control of your own thoughts and emotions, figure out how to do that, because without that, you're just going to be driving with your foot on the brake and the gas at the same time.
I love it, man. Love
But
it.
once you get that, you get the belief, and then everything just flies open. It's insane. But everything flies open. It's you shift paradigms.
Hmm.
Like you can't look for the technicalities of like how do I do this. You got to fix the overarching beliefs that you have about your life, about money, about uh, who you are, about like your potential. You have to shift your overarching beliefs about that. There's no one answer to do it. You just have to want to. And you just have to keep on keeping on without ever giving up, and you'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
Some people it takes longer than others. For me, it really took me like a couple of years to really make much money online. Whereas some people like they just fly open. You Ty Lopez's course, and all of a sudden they're making $10,000 a month.
Right.
Right? 2 months later, that wasn't my story. Is one better than the other? I don't know. I just needed more development. It's all about personal development.
I agree, man. Sam, where can people find you? Or if they're interested, they know someone that does solar, then maybe like thinking
Yeah,
that,
I stay pretty off the grid a
Okay.
bit. I mean, I have Instagram. You can follow
Hmm.
me at BRAYDEN ZOUCHA.
Hmm.
But
We mean
I
like
don't
after
I
I
don't
meant
really
like
post.
I mean like as in like to your business, like if there's someone watching that may have a lead for you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. If you have a lead for the business, like they have to be willing to purchase at least 100 solar leads a month.
Okay.
Um, it can either be in the United States or Australia,
Hmm.
and you can reach me. Probably the best way is Yeah, Instagram. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. We'll just keep
Okay.
it at that.
So I'll just put it on in the video here in the
Sounds good.
description.
I don't necessarily need to give out my email and stuff. So it's
Gotcha.
good.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man. Well, Barry,
If
man.
you're a big solar company, I'll find you. How about that?
There you go. There we go. All right, cool, man. Man, well, thanks for being on the show, man. I love the story, man. And
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother. It was a
mhm,
good time. Good
it's
catching up as
awesome.
well.
Cool, man.